Invest 93L is finally making its approach to the Gulf Coast now, and it's going to do so within the next 24 hours, making landfall around the Louisiana area, Lafayette area. This is not going to be a hurricane. This is not even going to be a tropical storm at this point. Really running out of time. You can tell convection has really been very robust this morning ever since it has entered the Gulf of Mexico from Florida yesterday. Now, here's the only caveat with this storm that we're paying close attention to that some models are beginning to pick up on is that there is a possibility, a small chance right now, and it's been consistent with a lot of the models, that we could see 93L enter the United States and then come back around and do a loop-de-loop back into the Gulf and try to reorganize into something. It's far quite out to be able to tell if anything specific is going to happen, if it will become a tropical storm or hurricane, but I'll kind of show you what I mean. We'll go over some of the models, but regardless of what happens with Invest 93L, we already got a modern risk of flash flooding today in Louisiana, specifically for the Lafayette area, Lake Charles, and all those areas are going to experience potentially catastrophic flooding. We're talking, anywhere between 5 to 6 inches plus, especially along the coast regions of Louisiana. So definitely prepare for that. Today is the day. Like I said, this is not going to be a hurricane. Some gusty winds are possible, but let's go ahead and jump over to the models and I'll kind of show you what we're looking at. Now, really quick, jumping over to some of the spaghetti plots as of this morning now. This is going to be our main pretty much landfall region here, right? In New Orleans, Louisiana. I mean, it's pretty much almost on land as I'm making this video, and it's currently 8:37 a.m. Central Time. Now, some want to take it way out here west of Texas. That's very unlikely. A lot of the steering mechanism with the Invest 93L is going to be the high pressure system that's centered over the eastern part of the United States, and that's what's really going to help lift this, pull it north, and potentially we should start seeing these models make somewhat of a curve back east, probably towards the Carolinas, then eventually back out into the Atlantic, where from there then it could curve back towards Florida and potentially back into the Gulf. All right, now jumping over to our precipitable water, this is going to be the GEFS, kind of a ensemble member model run that kind of gives us a little bit different outcomes, but this is going to kind of show us the mean, the majority, if that makes sense. So coming over here and looking at this is going to be July 17th, today 6Z, and this is going to be, you can see our storm down here, a little bit of vorticity, a little bit of green, lots of moisture being pulled into the Louisiana area, and really as we take this forward, the main story over the next week is going to be the temperatures. Okay, it's going to get very hot. I'm not talking about the hot that we've been seeing lately, the 90s. I'm talking 100, 110, potentially up to 115 degrees in some spots of the United States. And you'll notice that we're going to have a dome of high pressure set over here in the central and western parts of the United States, and really just gets locked in here. And we're going to go over some of the temperature anomalies, like I said, and depending on the steering mechanisms and depending on how much dry air is in place will really depend on if we see this storm get pulled back in the Atlantic. Like I said, there's so much caveats that go into place and so many variables that we have to look at, because we've got, the Bermuda High, that's a steering mechanism for these storms. Is it going to be contracted? Is it going to be not contracted? Where exactly is it going to send this moisture plume? Is it going to get slung off in the North Atlantic? So there's still a lot to, go over, and there's still a lot of uncertainty, but that's something that we're not going to focus on now because that's over, a week away. It hasn't even entered the United States just quite yet. But let's go ahead and dive into some of the temperature modeling as well, because right now that is definitely going to be the main concern moving forward. Alrighty, jumping over to our 2-meter temperature anomaly, and this is going to kind of show us the average of what the temperatures are on a given day or a given week suggested by this computer model here. Now, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's just going to kind of give us an idea. So, if your average temperature on July the 18th is 90 degrees and this shows, 5 degrees above average, and it doesn't hit 95, it's not going to be always pinpointed, but this is going to kind of give us an idea of the overall spectrum of the weather pattern we're going into over the next 2 weeks. So moving forward, we're going to begin on July 18th tomorrow, and you'll notice a lot of blues, a lot more blues, especially in the central United States, and this is indicating below average temperatures, anywhere from 6 to 12 degrees Celsius below average. And you'll notice as we move this forward going into July the 21st all the way into July the 24th, not as much blue, a lot more orange, a lot more red. This is depicting 4 to 6 degrees above average Celsius, I have to say. And like I said, this is going to cause for a widespread heat wave as we get this just dome that builds over the central United States. You can see, I mean, look at here. Thursday, July the 24th. I mean, y'all are cooking up here probably in Chicago, Wisconsin, Indiana, Kentucky. I mean, you know, this model's indicating potentially 8 to 12 degrees above average. So whatever your average is this time of the year, take that at about 8 to 12 degrees Celsius on top of that. Obviously not going to be precise, not going to be exact, but it's going to be hot, okay? I can tell you all that. It's definitely going to be cooking out there for the foreseeable future, really going all the way through the rest of July. I mean, I don't really see any more pleasant temperatures. I'm not sure if it's been too pleasant for y'all lately. At least it hasn't for me down here in Texas. We've been in the 90s lately. The humidity, especially the Gulf moisture pulling up, has made it just absolute awful and unbearable, especially if you work outside. So definitely put some sunscreen, put some protection on, find some shade, drink lots of water, and hydrate, because moving forward, that's going to be the main story for the foreseeable future. As far as more tropical systems and anything that's going to come to the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic, some long-range models do indicate potential some tropical waves coming off the coast of Africa, but a lot of them are probably going to come up here just to the west of probably Cuba and the Caribbeans and get launched out here, maybe to the Carolinas, maybe just become a fish storm. Like I said, still too far to tell, so we're not going to get into detail. We're not going to fearmonger, and we're not going to tell and spread misinformation around here, because it's not what we do. We try to be accurate as possible and be realistic as possible and be transparent as possible, because I don't want to give y'all any false information. I know there's a lot of people out there lately, especially in hurricane season, is one of the most overhyped seasons there is out there, and people will take one model run, just one model run, won't show anything else, and just say, all right, this is it. This is what's going to happen. It's just not true. You got to use weather, you got to use meteorology, and you got to use modeling responsibly to be able to forecast these storms to the best of our abilities. So with that being said, that's going to conclude today's video. I appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, so that way every time I drop a video, you get notified, and I'll see y'all in the next video.